Hey everyone, and welcome back to another SkillCapped guide. In today's guide, we will be going over 10 secret tips that the Valorant devs don't want you to know. This information has been curated by the top Valorant players and coaches who have spent countless hours of research to give you the most effective and up-to-date tips you won't find anywhere else. Remember to click the sub button and the bell icon to keep up to date with the most high-quality Valorant guides that you won't find on any other channel. To start off this list, we have a crazy technique that might sound familiar to the CS veterans that made the switch to Valorant. We're talking about boosting. For those of you who haven't heard of boosting yet, boosting is where two players line up next to each other and one of the players uses the other as a stepping block to get to a higher area on the map. This technique allows players to get into positions where their opponent won't expect them. For example, you can actually boost a teammate to the top of the box outside of showers on bind. This is a spot usually reserved only for JETT and Raze players, but now any agent can access it. Although many people thought that boosting wasn't going to be possible in Valorant, they were wrong. Right now, there are two ways to boost. One of these is a basic technique, but the other is an insane strat that you need to try out in your next match. Starting out, we have normal head boosting. To start this process, you and a teammate are going to find a boost spot. Once you're at this spot, the teammate that is going to boost you will need to stand in the corner and crouch. Once your teammate is in this position, you need to gain momentum by running towards the booster. Then, jump to try to land on top of your teammate's head. At the same time that you're in the air, your teammate, while still holding the crouch key, should move forward slightly so that you can glitch onto their head. Now that your teammate is in the correct position, all you need to do is press your crouch key mid-air so that you can land onto their head. Once you land on your teammate's head, make sure to continue holding the crouch key, as this will prevent you from sliding off and give you a lot more control. All that needs to happen now is the person boosting you needs to stand up and it will end up boosting you up. Although this technique does have a bit of a learning curve, once you're able to master it, you will be able to replicate this process every single time. The second way you can boost in Valorant is even easier to do than the normal head boost, but it does require your team to have a SOVA, and it will cost you 300 credits to purchase the SOVA Owl Drone. To perform this boost, you will need to find a corner and have a player sit here. Next, SOVA will need to launch the Owl Drone. SOVA needs to fly the drone towards the character in the corner. And then, once the drone is close to the agent, they need to jump onto the drone, and while in the air, they need to press the crouch key in order to stay stuck onto the drone. All that's left is SOVA flying the drone upwards, boosting the agent to a new height. A plus to this boosting method is that this boosting method will be able to boost you to a higher height than the normal head boosting. You can use both these techniques to hold some pretty crazy spots as well. One great spot to try boosting to is on split, and it's right to the left once you exit B tons pushing onto B site. Keep in mind that you can boost with multiple teammates to essentially form a ladder and get to even higher spots. Boosting is one of the least explored mechanics in Valorant, so be sure to play around with this technique and try to find your own undiscovered boost spots that will catch the opponent completely off guard and net you some free kills. Our next tip is a bit of a controversial one. It's the idea of using a teammate's damaging ability to kill your whole team after losing a pistol round. You're probably wondering, why in the world would anyone want to do this? Well, this actually limits the money and ult points that the opposing team could get during your save round. In Valorant, players can gain ult points by securing kills, planting the spike, grabbing ult orbs, or by dying. Let's say that you just lost your pistol round, and now you have to perform a save round so that your economy isn't busted the next round. Instead of playing out this round, you can have Brimstone purchase a molly and shoot it into an area where every player on your team is standing. You can do this at the start of the round so that the opposing team doesn't have time to grab an ult orb. By doing this technique, you will still gain the amount of credits earned by the 2-round loss streak, which is 2,400. Your enemy, however, will end up receiving 3,000 credits for winning the round, but that is still way better than the amount of credits they could have gotten if they killed all of your team, because every kill is worth 200 credits. Take this tip as you will, but you might want to give it a good thought and possibly try it out next time you lose a pistol round. For our next tip, we have a crazy one-way that will change the way you hold mid on split. This one-way will involve Sage's wall. Many of Sage's one-ways have been patched out, such as the garage wall on Haven. To remove this overpowered one-way out of the game, the developers added curtains to the top of the garage. And in general, the developers have been opposed to one-ways, typically patching them out, but there's one they missed. In order to execute this one-way, you'll want to head over to the mailroom and start walking down the stairs. Walk towards this corner, and you're going to line up the far left corner of the Sage wall with this line on the wall. This will leave a small crack between the Sage wall and the stairs, and you will be able to move to vents and look underneath the wall and gain info for your team. You are even able to fire shots through this crack, and you can deal damage to your opponent sitting in mid. However, this one-way's true strength comes when using an operator, as all you have to do is catch a sliver of the opponent to one-shot them. With how important mid control is on split, this is a super effective strategy for you Sage mains out there. Our next tip will allow you JETT mains to execute JETT's abilities even faster than before. Our fourth tip is canceling the JETT animations. Yes, you heard me right, you can actually animation cancel in Valorant. Normally, when you cast your Cloudburst animation on JETT, you'll see an animation with your left hand. Well, as soon as you cast your Cloudburst ability, all you have to do is instantly cast your dash or updraft ability to cancel this animation. A situation this would be perfect to use in would be if you were peeking an enemy and had to get away quickly. You could activate the Cloudburst into your dash ability. This would allow you to smoke where you just were and be perfectly safe back in cover much faster than if you had waited for the animation to finish. Now, we've all been in those spots where it's a race against the clock to get onto site. Well, this next tip will help you get onto site or even rotate faster than ever. Our next tip is the Viper wall strat. This strategy requires Viper's wall, and it is easiest to accomplish if you have a JETT due to her passive ability to float whenever holding down spacebar in the air. In order to perform this push, have the JETT updraft into the air or jump from a high area. Make sure the JETT is holding spacebar down so that she floats down. While JETT is directly above where the wall is going to be thrown, Viper needs to throw the wall. This will send JETT flying across the map, and she can even use her dash ability to dash out of it and gain even more momentum. This tip is all about timing, so hop into a custom match and play around with it to find the timing that you like best. It's very simple to get the hang of, and we were able to accomplish it our third attempt. The Viper wall push has been active across the entire closed beta and still hasn't been patched out, so make use of it while you can, as we don't expect it to stick around for much longer. For this next tip, we will bring you a crazy lineup that will grant you easy teleporter kills on bind. This tip takes place at the teleporter that goes from the B teleporter to the A exit. Everyone has been in at least one situation where a player just camps in the teleporter to apply pressure to the opposing team. This arrow will allow you to figure out exactly where this player is sitting, and you can fire shots at them due to the fact that the teleporter is a wall bangable surface. In order to perform this lineup, you first need to position yourself in this corner on top of the boxes. Once you're here, you're going to want to aim your crosshair at this small square window above the teleporter exit. Once you're lined up, you will want to set the arrow to bounce twice and then fire the arrow, filling up 1 1/4 bars. This will land the arrow behind the teleporter and reveal the enemy location. Here's what the arrow looks like in real time without any pauses. Alright, our next tip in this video is also a one-way, but this tip involves Viper's smoke. Honestly, this one smoke is probably half the reason why Viper is considered to be a strong pick on the map Split. In order to perform this one way, you will once again want to head into mailroom, head over to the bottom set of stairs, and line up with the middle of the dark line on the second stair. Be sure that you are looking down as far as you can in order to get this lineup to work. After you're in this position, you will want to look straight up at the lighting above you. Your crosshair should already be positioned on the second line to the right. Extend this line down to the middle of the bottom beam, and this is where you will want to throw your poison cloud. Now you're able to back up into heaven and see the feet of players moving in mid and easily spray them down. This is easily one of the most overpowered one-way smokes in the game right now, especially given how important mid control is on the map Split. If you've played Valorant a good amount, then you've probably heard of bunny hopping. Many advanced players use bunny hopping to make them a harder target to hit and mask some of their footstep sounds whenever they are wanting to rotate fast across the map. Now, what if I told you that there was a technique that even some pros don't know about? This technique is stealth bunny hopping. Stealth bunny hopping is very simple to master if you already have regular bunny hopping down. All you have to do is hold shift after you jump into the air to begin bunny hopping. This technique will only work if you're bunny hopping to an increased elevation, such as A ramp on Split or going to A heaven on Bind. So breaking it down, to begin you will want to sprint so that you can gain momentum, and then right when you jump, start holding shift. Then just do your normal bunny hop without releasing the shift key, and it's as easy as that. Your opponents won't be able to hear any sounds you make, and you will be able to catch them off guard much easier. If you want to learn even more about stealth bunny hopping or even bunny hopping in general, then click the info card on the top right corner of your screen right now, because we made a complete guide covering everything you ever need to know about the topic. Let me know if this situation sounds familiar. You're playing on Haven and your team sticks you controlling B site. Your task is to watch the mid window, except you find yourself constantly dying due to peeker's advantage. Well, what if I told you that you could get free kills by just shooting at the start of the round? In our 9th tip, we're going to be going over a pre-fire found on Haven that will grant you these easy, sweet kills. To perform this lineup, you'll want to head into B site as if you were coming from garage. Once you're inside, take a sharp right and face the box in the middle of the room. Once you're here, walk forward while looking down and line up with the middle vent right here. Next, find the yellow flag hanging in the air, put your crosshair on it and drag down until you're at head level. This is where you want to fire at the start of the round, because if a player is sitting here and you have good crosshair placement, then they should die. Our final tip for this video is Q dodging. We've all been in the situation where we get put onto a team with stubborn teammates who won't choose the best agents for the good of the team. Well, right now in Valorant, you're able to dodge the Q and only receive a time punishment of 3 minutes. As of now, you will not see a change in your MMR if you do decide to dodge a Q. It's a good idea to dodge a Q whenever your team doesn't have a group of agents that have a good synergy between each of the agents. Another great reason to dodge a Q is if your team doesn't have an agent that is required in rank. An example of this would be if nobody wanted to play Sage. This would be a great time to just cut your losses and dodge the Q. This may not be the most flashy of tactics, but waiting 3 minutes for a new Q is better than spending 40 minutes on a loss. We want to thank you guys for staying all the way through this video, so as a gift, we're bringing you a bonus tip that will give you some insane clips. This tip requires JETT on Split. In order to set up for this clip, you need to run into B tons from B lobby. Right when you're in B tons, updraft twice and hold down the S key on your keyboard. This will cause you to glitch into the roof. You can stay here as long as you want, as long as you don't let go of the S key. Now, all you have to do is wait for players to rotate to A. You're very welcome for the easy kills. Just keep in mind that this will most likely get patched as we enter the official release of Valorant. That wraps it up for this secret tips and tricks video. We at SkillCapped want to thank you so much for watching all the way through this video, and we hope you learned at least one new tip that you can use in your future games. Let us know which tip was your favorite in the comments down below, and while you're down there, be sure to like the video and subscribe with notifications on. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.